Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Victoria, where we have ships? I just noticed this. How did this happen? Did we capture these from Ukraine? I don't know what this is. Where did these come from? We've got 2 torpedo boats and an ironclad. Okay. And we can't get submarines and we can't get carriers at this point. Well, I do want to work on our Navy, but our economy is not really in a point where I want to do that right now. I don't know where those came from, but we'll keep them for the moment. We do want to get a Navy, but this is going to be rough. We need to incorporate Sinai, apparently. That's odd, because I feel like we should have already had it incorporated. We only didn't have it for 5 years. But we need to incorporate it. That's fine. So we need some bureaucracy, and we are not surprised about this. What are we making right now? Oil rigs? Okay. So Adai is not a great place to build these, due to the construction efficiency. However, Chad, we can absolutely build them in. I'm going to build, I think, 5. Something like that. That should be fine. And yeah, I know this war isn't progressing up here. We could just go crush them really, really fast. Honestly, I'm going to do it. I want to be properly out of war. So we've got a famous cafe here. I don't think there's a reason to be completely out of war, to be clear, but I want to do it regardless. This is in Wadai, and we're already not building in Wadai due to low construction efficiency, so there we go. That's fine. We'll just make the construction efficiency so much worse in Wadai. What could possibly go wrong? I'm sure it'll be wonderful. So we have a transportation shortage in Wadai at this moment. So the question is, do we want to build there? Well, obviously we don't. We do see that there's someone building there already, and that's noted. I will let them do that. We have an electricity shortage in Transjordan, in Israeli Yemen, and in Wadai. So that is absolutely noted. Let's sort by state name here. So Wadai currently has a power plant in queue. Where is Israeli Transjordan? Actually, it was Israeli Yemen and then regular Transjordan. So we can definitely build a power plant in Israeli Yemen, and then Transjordan, there is a power plant in queue. Okay. So that looks fine for now. We'll get that going. We'll get these government administrations wrapped up here. There we go. Our oppressed siblings, huh? The Rabbinical Council is upset with the French. Sure. So we're just going to immediately crush this as soon as we arrive. Which is fully expected. And that would be absolutely wonderful. Now, we're still net negative in our bureaucracy. This is almost certainly because we didn't fill out in Chad. Yeah, we need qualifications there. That should get there. I'm not too concerned about it. So we'll just immediately crush this, and this war's over. So onward we head. We're heading home. That looks great. And we would be delighted to get that shortage issue dealt with. Why is our market access low in some of these areas? Is this an infrastructure issue? Yes. Okay, so in Timbuktu, I want to subsidize that. In Sahara, I want to subsidize this as well. That might solve those issues. This is 30 infrastructure. Yeah, that should solve those. In Syria, we definitely need a little bit of infrastructure. In Algiers and Hejaz, we need infrastructure as well. Armenia and Persian Kurdistan aren't our territories, so that will do for the moment. We'll get these railways going in. And our oil rigs in Basra are going to be done soon. Now, we've got this here. Minus 91% construction efficiency in Wadai. It's rough, but this is the only thing that we're building here other than this railway. I'm moving them up to the top. These are going to be very, 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 very slow. But we'll slowly make progress on it. It's just the 2 slots. It's not a big deal. This is a small percentage of our overall construction. Everything else is going to build at close to full speed, and that will be great. Our rubber plantations are actually getting finished up, and we can build an additional rubber plantation, which I'm going to do at the top of the queue, that will be absolutely great. We've got some motor industries in the queue here, and then we're going to be getting into these coal mines, and that's understood. So we're currently short on lead, coal, and sulfur. I'm going to let this continue to work through for a few weeks here. I am noting that we are running a deficit at this moment. That's absolutely understood. And I don't want to be running a deficit at this moment. So the question is, do we pause construction at any time? Or do we just try to build our way out of deficit? That's a potential option. The positivists ran out of money. Okay, good for them. I think we'll just finish up these oil rigs in Basra for right now. And I want to definitely be working through this construction queue for a while. So the rubber plantation is going to finish. And of course, our railway in Wadai and our power plant in Wadai, these are going to take a very long time. I'm not in any rush to get those completed, but we just want to keep working on them for now. So I want to get through our railways here, this power plant, and these motor industries. That's going to be 22 weeks. We are starting to work on coal mines in the background. And then there's iron mines down here too. But I kind of want to move up these lead mines. Something like that. Do we have any other lead mines in the queue? I don't think we do. We have some sulfur mines in here that we could move up, but I'll wait on that. These are logging camps, fishing wharves. I mean, yeah, that's all understood. And I'll cancel these for now. Okay, so that seems fine for the moment. I do want to make sure that our priority remains on Wadai. This is very rough up here, of course. Wow, we hit an advance here again. We've been rolling very oddly on this. We've been rolling nothing but advances. We're up to a 78% success rate on this. This is now guaranteed to pass, by the way. It's not going to fail. There's a 0% chance of failure at this moment. This is 99, so technically there's a fractional percent chance of debate, I think. No. There's not a fractional chance of debate or stall. This is guaranteed to pass. So that's understood. That's fine for the moment. We're net negative in our bureaucracy still, minus 222. And that's interesting for sure. I'm sorting by peasants here, and I'm thinking about Chad again. Yeah. So this would be like 195 if we were to build 3. So we really need 4 here. Like that. There we go. That'll do. So we'll get these lead mines moved up, build a couple more government administrations in Chad, and that will be fine. We do have coal next in the queue here, and then that'll build pretty quickly, and then we'll start getting on to work on iron. I see that coal has fallen off here, and iron is now in the number 2 category here, so that's understood. So these government administrations are finishing now, and our lead mines are about 5 weeks away from completion at this juncture. We've got a while on our motor industries yet, but I do want to get at least some of this lead going. The next question is, do we want to start thinking about military conquest anytime soon? And I think the answer to that is not immediately. I want to get our economy boosted first. We clearly need some economic work. Oh, look at that. Textiles. Interesting. We could definitely start chipping away at that. I'm not going to put a huge amount of production into textile mills, but we can definitely work away at this at like a rate of 5 at a time or so. So something like this is absolutely fine. So we progressed up to voting on protected speech. That's fine. And our railway in Syria is going to finish. We're working on our motor industries. We're 21 weeks away from that. The textile mills are 17 weeks away. So we're making very, very good progress on getting through some of this stuff. Coal mines are definitely up there. I wouldn't mind moving up some of these iron mines, but I think I'm just going to wait, to be honest. I don't think I'm going to shuffle that around at all. Now we're currently researching bolt-action rifle, and we're close to finishing this. After that finishes, I kind of want to... Submarine is spreading to us. I kind of want to grab destroyers after that. Like this. And then maybe like landing craft. So that'll be fine for the moment. And we're going to continue to build our motor industries. I really want our GDP to continue to soar here. We're at 409 million. We're number 3, and we're not very far behind Britain. I think we're catching up with them. We're still a ways behind Ukraine economically, and that's understood. I mean, what's their population? Their population is almost exactly double ours, so that's not necessarily surprising. I don't care about this war. That's all fine. So yeah, their population is about double ours, but we're still working our way through the peasants and unemployment. Like, this is why I want to keep constructing. And we're back down to being negative in our bureaucracy because we keep having all of these mass immigrations. That's not necessarily surprising. I don't want to build in Wadai. We're going to build in Chad. I'm going to take this up to +9. I'm overbuilding this for right now, but we've been running a pretty steady deficit of government administrations, so let's do that for now. Okay, so our textile mills are going to be done here in about 8 weeks. Our motor industries in 12. Now we've got the bolt-action rifle. I want to swap our small arms manufactories over to bolt-action rifles. Done. So that seems good. And we will get finished with our government administrations here shortly. We hit another advance here. Wow. Okay, so we're now at 87% on protected speech. That's insane. Textile mills will be done in 5 weeks. Motor industries in 9. Our coal mines are progressing in the background, and it won't be long before we start working on these iron mines, which iron is no longer as big of a shortage, so that's noted. Now, we've got a pretty big deficit of clothing at this moment, 3.68K. These textile mills, we're only making 5 of them, and this is not going to be enough. We are making 140 per level, so this is going to be, what, like 500, like 700 in total? So this is going to be less than a third of this deficit. But even so, that should address things somewhat. So we'll get going on that. These textile mills will be coming online shortly. And I'd like to make more textile mills, but for the moment, I want to make some proper progress on the rest of this queue. Our GDP is continuing to accelerate upwards at a rapid rate. As we can see, we're only about 14 million behind Britain at this moment in GDP, and that's fantastic. So there's new production methods for 3 additional buildings. So let's go through here and find those. Now, furniture manufactories, we're not working on luxury furniture at all. We may want to get some amount of luxury furniture production. This is going to cause some issues. The price of luxury furniture is going to absolutely tank. So I think we should probably do this on a single basis here. Yeah, something like this. There we go. That'll work for now, but that's not one of the things that we actually want to be changing the production method on for the moment. What we really want is to be coming down here to our livestock ranches, which are on refrigerated rail cars. Iron mines should be on this. Lead mines should be as well. Looks like we didn't unify our production methods. That's okay. So we'll just come on down here. Naval bases can be turned up, since we apparently have those. Oh, we must have captured naval bases. That must be what it was. So we're going to switch over to coal-fired plants for all of our power plants, for sure. And we want our fishing wharves to be on refrigerated rail cars, which it apparently automatically changed to. Okay. So that looks fine. That might cause us some electrical issues. We'll see. We have telephones, currently expensive, and we have a shortage of hardwood. So we can absolutely handle that by coming up to our... Where are we? Our production methods for our logging camps. Here we go. And we can switch some of these over to hardwood. So we can go in Wadai over to hardwood, and that will get us an additional 75. That's not a huge amount. In Syria, we can produce some hardwood. That'll be an additional 21.9. In fact, what would it look like if we changed all of this over to here? That's going to spike the price of wood, so I don't want to do that at this moment. We can get Kordofan over, and that's looking better. Middle Egypt can't do it, but we can go here for Lebanon, and then in Apulia, yeah, this is fine. In Palestine, sure. In Aleppo, yeah. And then in Dongola, we can just call it good like that. We can see that we definitely have a deficit of wood now from that, and that's not necessarily surprising. We can move up logging camps. They're in the queue here, and it's not a big deal to make some logging camps. So each of these logging camps is going to make a decent chunk of this. How much are they going to do? In theory, like 100 per level. So that would mean that we would need to move up like 26 of these, right? That's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. Something about like that. But we don't necessarily want it to be prioritized like this. So let's get back to the first page here, and we are going to turn up all of this. And just that. That'll do. So our motor industries in Israeli Croatia are going to be done. We'll just blitz through these logging camps very quickly. That should be absolutely fine. No issue there. We do need some new groceries. There's protected speech. That's not surprising. So some food industries here would be great. I'm going to make 9 of them in Palestine. Not 10, 9. We're building to the economy of scale cap. We're still economy of scale capped at 50. So that looks fine for the moment. We'll get those underway, and we'll be building the logging camps in the background. So that seems wonderful. We're still mostly short on groceries, but we are still short a little bit on sulfur. So I wouldn't mind getting some sulfur production. How much do each sulfur mine make? 80 per level. Okay. So if we check in here, we can see that we have a shortage of 2.45K. So I'm going to go 2450 divided by 80. That's approximately 30 of these to get rid of that deficit in total. I'm not going to do 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for now is fine. So we'll get those moved up. And are we still working on any wood at this point? Yes, we are. Perfect. So we'll continue to go like this. We'll get a few sulfur mines going. We're getting a few food industries going. I see that textiles have moved up and sulfur has moved down. That's fine. We'll get there. More radio production. Sure. Seems good. So we're net negative on our authority at this moment. There's not very much that we can do about that. We're still running a big old deficit, and I'm hoping that we GDP our way out of that deficit, but it hasn't been going well, to be honest. So we may have to stop construction at a certain point, but we're making progress on the peasants and unemployment numbers, and that's really, really important. If we can get those people off of welfare, that would save us a lot of money. We don't want to cut our welfare because of our standard of living, but that would definitely be really, really good if we could do that. We're fiscally okay at this moment. We're at plus 379K without construction, so I'm not concerned about it. I want to continue to grow our economy for now. Lots of people immigrating, and that's absolutely not a shocker. We're currently growing at a rapid rate, 1 million per year. If we check Ukraine, what's their population growth? 1.75 million per year. So in terms of raw numbers, we're falling behind Ukraine. But their percentage growth is 1.05. Our percentage growth is 1.26, which means that we should be slowly closing the gap as we make our way up in a weird sort of way. Like in a percentage sort of way. Not in an absolute numbers sort of way. I know it's bizarre, but that's the way I want to think about that. But we do need more population. So that's another big reason why I don't want to do women in the workforce until we run out of people to put to work. Yet. We want the additional birth rate still. So that's all good. And there is all of those sulfur mines finishing up. So we see sulfur was number 2 here, and that's fine. We can continue to work on that, but I want to get these food industries wrapped up before we do anything else here. We're only 14 weeks away from finishing this power plant. This railway is a very long ways away yet. And that's not surprising. We'll keep slowly chipping away at that, but it's going to be rough. We are not running much of a deficit at this moment. Is that fake? It's about to be fake. Because we're about to finish up all these food industries. Okay. That was a surplus, but that was a fake surplus. We will see what it's like here. Our GDP is continuing to expand significantly. If we can get rid of this deficit, that would be huge. We're still number 3 GDP. How close are we to Britain? We're within 5 million now. So our GDP is absolutely catching up with Britain. Now, we have some shortages here, and we do need to handle that. So I want to build some power plants. I'm going to sort by earnings. I definitely see that railway issue in Israeli Croatia. Yeah. So we definitely need to get some railways built here and here. In Israeli Romania, this is not so much an issue. But I do want to get some power plants rolling in here. So at this point, I think I'm just going to build one per area as long as it's over 1K. Something like this for now. And then let's go in here. Wadai we're already working on. That should have just finished. Or is close to finishing. It's very close to finishing. So that's fine. I'm not too concerned about Wadai. Lazio, on the other hand, we probably do want to work on. That's in the queue. Israeli Romania. So that'll be up over here. This just needs to be subsidized. Done. And then we've got hail. So there's an electricity shortage here. What do we got going on there? This needs to be subsidized. And then Israeli Yemen. This guy is in the queue. So that looks fine for now. So get a few of these power plants going. Our power plant in Wadai is going to be done in 8 weeks. Are we still... Okay, we finished up all of that wood production, and we're now starting to work on coal again. That looks good. I do see that coal is currently in the category of large deficit, so that is understood. That's a surplus. Is that a real surplus? I'd love to see a real surplus here. That looks like a real surplus. That has to be because of private construction, right? I don't think we had any major change there. So that might slip away from us, but we're delighted to have it for at least a few weeks. As long as we're running a surplus, I'm happy. I'm delighted. Absolutely wonderful. And it's still hanging on. So that's a really, really good sign. We're going to get these power plants finished up. Eventually, we're going to want to get more of those going. And I see privatization happening here, too. I would really like to get this debt paid off. We're currently spending quite a lot in interest, almost 70K. But those welfare payments are the bigger problem. And if we can just get that unemployment under control, that's what we need right now. So this is looking very fiscally viable at this moment. The question, of course, is whether it will remain so. If we get into a war, it'll not remain so. This is fragile at this moment. So I don't want to fight for at least a few years. Anyone. I don't want to fight Wandala. I don't want to fight Ethiopia. I don't want to fight anyone for at least a few years. We've still got some infamy here, so we've got some time on that front. And our power plants are finishing up here very shortly. So that looks good. This railway in Wadai, still a really long ways away. We're not surprised about this. I'm just going to move that up to the top of the queue. And it's a... Honestly, this is kind of a back burner thing, but I'm keeping it on the top of the queue because I want to make some progress on it. This isn't eating up a lot of our construction. So for the moment, I'm completely okay with this. So there's those power plants finishing up. We're just about done with our coal mines that we have in the queue. And our iron mines are being worked on in the background. As you can see here, we do have a deficit of iron at this moment, so this is great. And a lot of these iron mines are going to be pretty quick to finish because we made a decent amount of progress on them. So that's not going to take very long to work our way through. So this is looking very good at this moment. We still have some transportation shortages, particularly in Sahara. What's going on here? Actually, we just straight up need an additional railway there. That's interesting. And in Timbuktu, we need to subsidize this power plant. Okay. We may be able to remove some of our subsidizations, but to be honest, we're only paying 30K a week in subsidies. I'm not too concerned about that. Our bigger issue is obviously welfare. So getting our welfare under control means getting those people to work, and that is indeed exactly what we're looking to do. Our literacy has improved markedly, although it's kind of leveling off a little bit, and this is because we only have, I think, 50% education access. Yeah, that's a problem, and I would definitely like to get 100% education access, but as of right now, that's not really a thing that we can do. At least we've got compulsory primary school, so that's something. So getting more textiles going would definitely be a good thing to do, and the question is, do we want to do that right now? I think the answer is yes. Yeah, the answer is yes. I'm going to take this up to, let's see here, it should be plus 24. That's a lot. I realize that. This is a whole lot of construction that I just queued up here. I'm going to move up anything that has any level of progress in it, and then we're going to work on these textile mills. So it's going to be something like this. So that's going to get quite a lot of this construction completed. And we're starting work on the textile mills. So those will be done relatively quickly. Wow, that's a big surplus right now. Well, we want to have all the surplus we can get to pay down our debt. That's absolutely great if we can continue to run that. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue to construct and work our way through this ridiculous queue. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.